Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Wellness Blueprints. I'm Jess Milner. I'm so glad you're here to nourish your roots with me. I am a functional bloodwork specialist, a master nutritionist, a quantum energy healer. I am studying for my PhD and doctorate in natural medicine. And I have been seeing a lot of things, a lot of practitioners, colleagues of mine out there very concerned about the repercussions that we could be seeing in the coming years with so many women, just ordering injectable things like GLP-1s and having them sent to their house and they're just injecting themselves with them. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing across the board because it's going to be great for some people. There's going to be some nuance to everything. We don't really totally know the long-term effects, so there is some validity there, like even with microdosing, but I really, I really want to talk about like how the hell we got to this point. Okay. So, let's back it up some. All right. Because these things, these GLP-1s here, women are going after these because we want to feel comfortable in our own skin. We want to stop gaining weight at like for no damn reason because we looked at a strawberry. There's lots and lots of different reasons, and we're sick and tired of not being listened to, all those kinds of things. But a long time ago, once upon a time, the government got together and decided to tell everybody what the best things were to eat. And honestly, that was probably the stupidest thing they could have ever done because they were ass wrong. So they made this food pyramid. And I think everybody's learned about how the food pyramid has been absolutely ridiculous. But how many people out there do you still know that are going, I need to eat, they're still, doing their 11 servings. I'm not saying carbs are bad. You got to eating your carbs are good. But we want to flip it upside down. That everybody's mad because everybody has to make something political. It's like this isn't about politics. This is just about like people deserve to understand what is good for them and what's not without some fucking lobbyist telling everybody what to tell everybody. So that food pyramid, I've written papers on this if you want to look up Ansel Keys and things like that. But, basically there was a war between, are we going to blame fat or are we going to blame sugar? And, sugar won that one, like, yay, I'm going to be the good thing and sugar is fine. So they have this war on fat, this war on saturated fat. Everybody hates fat. Fat is no good. And I will tell you to this day, anyone out there that, colleague of mine or not, that is touting that you should be, completely eliminating a whole macronutrient, whether it's fat, whether it's carbs, whether it's protein. If anybody who's saying you need to get rid of all of that altogether long term for everybody, you're wrong. You're wrong. And that could be extremely harmful. Now, can that be good for some people? Sure. There are exceptions to the rule. Sometimes you're allergic to something, what have you, But no, we do not take we don't take an entire thing and completely get rid of it. What happened in the 80s and 90s? I think I've talked about this before. We had this diet culture. We had things that, like things like snack wells. We have to get rid of the fat. Well, what happens when you take fat out of food? It tastes awful because fat is where the flavor is, right? A lot of other nutrients too. So they take all of that out and then they have to put sugar in it because otherwise it's going to taste so bad. Nobody's going to put it in their mouth. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot remember anyone in the 80s or 90s who was eating Snackwell's cookies like it was their job and was actually thin. Not a single one. I didn't know any. And I grew up in that, the fat shaming culture, the, oh my gosh, diet, da, 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 da. And, in the 80s, in the 90s, even the 2000s. And looking back, because I tried all these diets and you don't lose any weight. And then what happens? You go to the doctor. And they're like, oh, well, we're not going to run any labs here. I mean, it's probably just anxiety and you should lose weight. Motherfucker, I can't lose weight. I haven't eaten any food in 3 goddamn months and I'm fatter than ever. Being ignored with things like that really just, it doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. So we have this whole, diet culture and everything where everybody like the goal is to be as thin as possible. All the models are thin and skinny and everything, so like, yeah, it's like, oh my God, right? Not a good thing. But what did we do? We went the entire other end of the spectrum. We went all the way to the other end of the spectrum and said, we don't body shame at all. We can love our fat body. Blah, 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 blah. All bodies are beautiful. And listen, yeah, you should be comfortable in your own skin. Just because you are overweight, obese, or even morbidly obese does not mean that you were ugly, okay? You can still be comfortable in your own skin. You are still gorgeous and you are still a fantastic person. But we do need to not ignore the objective facts here, okay? When you are obese, morbidly obese, anything like that, when your waist is over a certain circumference, when your BMI is over a certain amount, your risk for cardiovascular diseases, metabolic diseases go up by a lot. And this is concerning, especially for somebody, teens and people in their early 20s and stuff that are so, so large. I had a couple of patients and it was unbelievable to me because in the 90s, when I went to high school, the people who were like the biggest people in the school were maybe half the size of some of these people, some of these young people that were coming to me, in 2022, and in the clinic in Jersey. I mean, what the hell? So we got this whole thing where we go fat shame, love the fat body. And now here we are after, 10, 15 years of let's all love our bodies and not care that anybody is bigger. We have bigger models and stuff. I'm not saying that's bad because, we all do look differently. Everybody doesn't look like, a skinny heroin model like they had in the 90s, that heroin chic look. And, so I'm not, we don't want to do the other end of the spectrum entirely. But, yeah, having a nice variety of people in for your models, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. But now here we are. Now here we are with now this new solution here. Here, you can get these GLP-1s. Oh, your doctor won't give it to you. Somebody else can give it to you. You can microdose it. They'll send it to you. You're just going to inject yourself with it. And people start to lose weight. They start to feel a little bit better. Maybe we don't know all the things. And now everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a problem. We don't know what's going to happen. Right. But can you blame anybody? Ladies, how often do you go in to see doctor doesn't listen? You wait for months to get that appointment because everything hurts, you're like, I really need to get some labs run. I think I'm starting perimenopause and I'm 40 years older, and you go in and what do they do? Oh no, you're too young for that. We're not going to run any tests. They don't even look at you. It's probably anxiety. Here, I'll give you an antidepressant. Do you want some birth control? I mean, they don't listen. And not all. There are good doctors out there for sure. But they don't listen. And they tell you oh, I'm not going to run these labs. I'm not going to run these tests. And you're sitting there going, why the fuck are you not listening to me and not doing anything about this? And then how many stories do you read where years later you find out it was actually something really bad? Sometimes all of these symptoms that are going on are not just okay, you're going into perimenopause. This fucking sucks. But you could use some help. But no. Sometimes it's something much deeper and it's something much worse. And they're just oh, well, we're just gonna, ignore it because we think that you're just depressed. You're just being dramatic or you're drug seeking, So it's really important that we understand that we do deserve health. Okay. And the problem here is this isn't, it's not political one side or the other, but, it's at least in our country, the government has made health a fucking circus. Because it shouldn't matter what side of the coin, somebody who is concerned about health might fall on. We've got people out there who refuse to believe what one person says because they voted one way and vice versa. Health is health, and it doesn't fucking matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter any of those things. We all deserve health. And the problem here is and everybody's going in, well, I don't like that because blah, 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 blah. You are just joining in with the damn circus. You are perpetuating the circus that is our health. This is a goddamn shit show. Our healthcare is ridiculous. Okay. Nobody can afford it. And then when you finally get into the doctor, they don't listen anyhow. So, we deserve better than this. And that's why I love to teach you guys things about what's going on inside your body. I love to go, okay, look, this is what's going on here. Look at your labs here. And then look at your quantum frequency blueprint here and how this is affecting this. And how can we work together? Tell me how this makes you feel. And, what are you thinking with this? And here's what I'm thinking. And, how can we take steps so that you can start to feel better? Because you deserve health like that. You deserve somebody to look at it and go, you know what? I think it's better for you to eat this amount of carbs in a day versus this amount. Some people need to do very low carb. Some people need to do a higher carb. Everybody's different with how much their body is going to need. It's all, comes down to genetics and this. There's so many different factors in there. Okay. So, there isn't one perfect diet. You know what I say? Be a human who eats real food. That's all you got to do. Okay. You don't want to get rid of an entire macronutrient. I mean, sometimes people are going to do things like keto and whatever, it's going to maybe for a little bit of time. Okay. But we really got ourselves here by constantly just running a parade of what can we tell the people to eat? What can we make the people believe? What can we tell the people they need now? Make them feel horrible about themselves, make them do all these things. This isn't healthy either. Make them feel good about themselves now. Oh, now we have something to make you thinner after we just let you all get. I mean, we deserve health. We deserve true health. So if you would like me to take a look at your labs, if you would like me to take a look at anything, get another set of eyes on things, if you would like my professional opinion on some things and get some more answers, I'm so happy to help you. Okay. I offer my precision quantum frequency blueprint, and it's quite simple. You just give me all your stuff and then you wait for me to give you the analysis, and we will have a whole big discussion about it and get you to a place where you feel confident that you can start to feel better, that you can start to take steps. Okay. I know I'm somebody who I'm like, I want to get to the end, final product. But we do have to take steps to get places. And, it's true. We don't know the long-term effects necessarily of all of these things. We have some things in mind with, muscles, going bye-byes. So we do have some information right in front of us. And then, others we don't. But a lot of the time it is something that you just have to kind of go for a gamble. But it's always helpful when you have somebody who's actually looking at your stuff to make sure that it's going to be good for you, because it's not always good for everybody, and throughout history, I mean, how many times have we had things that were supposed to be one thing and supposed to be great and do this and XYZ, and then turns out to not be that way. So, sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes people make mistakes because they're being paid. Sometimes they make honest mistakes. So I'm not necessarily saying that this is like a whole big conspiracy thing, but based on what we've seen over the past, 50, 60 years, 70 years, trying to math it out there. But based on what we've seen, it's been pretty much a shit show for health. And so, it's important that because you deserve to know enough about your body that you can be empowered to take good care of your damn self. All right, because you can do it. I believe in you. Love you guys. Come back next week. Mwah.